Hey, howdy everyone. This is Dodo Tactics, your friendly neighborhood extinct flightless bird. And today I thought I'd do a bit of a video, and this being relating to the growing of Herrerasaurus, as I've gotten a few questions about how I grew this dinosaur, and I've been seeing some other content creators struggle with growing this creature as well. So, in order to possibly assist anyone that may need it, I've decided to make this impromptu video with any information and tips that I have at my disposal from looking and scrounging around the Isle server space or information I have gathered myself. So this video will be split up into several sections: young, middle growth, and then late stage growth. And if I do miss anything by any means, please do feel free to comment it below any tips and tricks you have of surviving as this dinosaur or any other dinosaur in general, as the more information we can provide to other players that are struggling, the more positive we can make an impact on others' days. Part 1. Baby. As you start off spawning as Herrerasaurus, you'll make a very quick realization. You are frickin' small. You are smaller than the majority of the grasses in-game, which means there is not a whole lot you can kill right off the bat. And if you try to kill any other fresh spawn, other than a Troodon or Terra, you are likely to be treated in a similar manner of a Jack Russell Terrier finding a squirrel. So there are two routes you can take trying to grow your little murder iguana to get a diet. And a third option that not many others know about, but can be a lifesaver, as many people don't know about it because they aren't specifically told Herrerasaurus can do this, because the Isle. One of the easiest methods I like to do starting off the bat, that's a little less risky, is to spawn at South Plains and start hunting for the AI there. As there's a great deal of diets within that area, there's also readily accessible trees that you can climb to get away from predators, as well as a sanctuary and a river nearby. So if anyone tries to chase you through a sanctuary or tree you around a sanctuary, they are likely to have a time limit due to the bees. Though to find your preference, I suggest you going to www.islemaps.com, as they have an interactive map that allows you to track your dinosaur from where you walk and or where your friends are, track where foods grow or spawn for carnivores, and fall off cliffs a little less, which probably would be greatly appreciated by a few of my friends. Though in all honesty, the Isle probably could use some sort of tracking system like this for their dinosaurs, as my friends would also greatly appreciate that. But the AI I suggest starting off with is chicken, deer, goat, and frogs, as these tend to be easy enough AI to find, as they're quite audible, and easy to kill generally, as they don't fight back. But this list can help other carnivores and herbivores find what foods they need to go to get their diet, and or where they need to be for those to spawn. Though if there are servers with higher server populations, I've seen servers up to 125 to 150 struggle with spawning AI. They could have fixed this by now. But the second plan would be to head to the peripheries of migration zones, as this is where herbivores tend to congregate along with carnivores. And players tend to be a little bit wasteful with their kills, or not so mindful, because murder hobos are a thing still. So my general idea of any carnivore trying to get diet from these areas is take a sniff away from all the chaos and commotion, find and isolate possible diets. If you do not see any diets, you can harvest organs of any body, hopefully not your own kind. And using Herrera's small stature, you could run up through the grass and quickly open a body due to its quick bite speed, even compared to other dinosaurs. From there, you could take an organ, run up into a nearby tree, or find another safe place to eat. Though, if you're fresh spawn and doing this, there's not much risk in that either. The locations where you could find some of these bodies are not just restricted to migration zones, as these can be often found on mountainsides and around cliffs as well, as due to AI not having the best tracking and falling off cliffs, and let's be honest, players too, they tend to fall and die a lot in those areas. And with Herrera's high fall damage resistance and climbing ability, it is often can be the first on the scene for these bodies, which have the highest nutrient content due to them not being rotted, hopefully, yet, and be able to get the best diet possible without as much risk of running into other hungry predators. Though let's say there's no AI around, there's no bodies you could smell either, and you're just around a river. Is the pooch screwed at that point? No. As long as you can follow that body of water long enough, you will be able to find your next meal. As Herrera, unlike other terrestrial dinosaurs, can dive and swim in the water to catch fish. As if you see any schooling fish on the surface of the water, then your Herrera can dive in, swim over, and bite the school of fish in order to pick up a body of one. Though it is best that if you keep an eye around to avoid any signs of crocodiles or ducks that look like they're straight from a failed exorcism. Though at least with the risk of crocodiles, you can mitigate that or minimize it if you dive under the water as long as possible before biting the fish school. As for the murder ducks, good luck. If they see you, it's on sight. Part 2. Teenager. At this stage, when you are about 40 to 60% fully grown, this is what I call the mid-growth stage. This is when life gets much easier for your Herrerasaurus in surviving in its environment, as you can start terrorizing some of the more smaller animals and for other fresh spawns much more readily now, and be able to have a large enough stamina pool to chase them down. And this also is when the good part of your utility kit starts becoming more lethal, the drop and pounce. Though let it be known that when you do try to drop onto a target, right mouse button needs to be held throughout the entirety of the jump in order to do damage to your intended target. At this stage, using your drop attack, you can now more reliably take down boar and smaller AI dinosaurs, which can be easily dispatched and cheesed through these encounters of successfully climbing up and down the tree again to pounce several times, or with boar, pounce and then bite a few times before they can recover. Though, if you have enough food and water around, there is a technique I suggest you using. This is what I call baiting. Baiting is a widely used tactic in many parts of the world in order to draw predators and prey in alike close enough to get a lethal shot with shorter range weapons. So, when you have dinosaurs that have to use melee in order to damage others, it is quite useful to get them close with this technique. This can be done with ponds, game trails, or any other vital resource with a bit of a choke to it, forcing the animals to you. You don't put your bait directly under a tree. This can be a body or, let's say, a source of water, as many creatures will look at the trees closest to it or over it and think, is there a predator above this, and will I take damage? If they're thinking. And so you want to drag it somewhat a little farther away, let's say about 30 feet, so you can readily get on the higher branches of your tree, position yourself, and pounce. And also get some snacks within reasonable distance if it is deemed safe enough. Though if you get a big hefty predator walking your way in order to steal your food source, I advise not going for that, as you are still small enough where while you start to do more damage, you cannot take them on. even in a group, you'd be having a hard-pressed time if you were all around the 40 to 60% growth range. Though, another factor to implement and keep in mind on is where your target is located, you'll often see a dinosaur footprint. If you see a footprint, you can land without issue. Though if you're high enough and up and you see a broken bone icon, that means you will get a broken bone as soon as you land in that location. And it would be a death sentence for you, so don't frickin' do that! Part 3. Anxiety-riddled young adult. Congratulations! You've got it past all the harder hurdles of growing your Herrera. You are now at a sizable enough position where you can one-shot or get close to one-shotting most Utahs, taking down almost all AI prey that you did diet on, and getting away from predators with ease. Though, if you wish to truly succeed, you'll often find yourselves in a group. And in a group with good coordination, this can provide surprising lethality with Herrerasaurus despite its size. As for its size in the current game, it has one of the best burst damages you can perform, even while it's situational, more so than Carnotaurus's charge. In a group, you can take a large prey item from full HP to almost dead. And if a predator or prey just finished a fight as well, and you can follow it to its resting spot, you can quickly and easily dispatch it, even if it's a fairly large thing. It's lower health, does not see you, but you see it and can take advantage of it. Though finding and coordinating these can take some time with, let's say, random individuals. So, when you need to communicate this to your team, but are worried about other creatures hearing you and avoiding your trap area, I advise using any body you have to pick up a piece of meat and then begin typing to your team your plan. As with a piece of meat in your mouth, you will not be heard, as all messages will be nonverbal, which allows you to tell your team, okay, this is the plan, this is how we're going to do it, and this is who we're going to target. Though, if you have a plan well enough in advance, you can use Herrera's other unique ability, its throat flap. While its incandescent light is very bright to other Herrerasauruses, it is invisible, mostly, to other dinosaurs looking at this. So it can be acting as a signal flag for start the attack. Though, for my favorite form of attack, I have a methodology I like to do is the tag in, tag out, where either one or two Herreras get above the target initially, and then drop down on it. And then as soon as you deal damage, you can take a nip, then run away to the nearest tree. And as the dinosaur starts turning and you're running away, the second or third Herrera can jump down as well, causing burst damage, while it is distracted trying to chase you, or turning in place to chase you. This plan creates a great deal of confusion for most IO players to try to deal with and coordinate, as it's multiple stimuli at once, and a surprise, oh hi, we have several targets attacking you never even saw. Though it would be important to notice that if you do not trust your group, it might be beneficial to say in advance one person at a time, as you can easily get killed if they mistime their jumps before you can get away. With observing how real-life predators act and using the unique kit that this one playable has, you can find many ways for yourself to survive and thrive in the Isle. Getting to the point of becoming this skilled threat can become a challenge, as its small stature starting off. I hope some of these tips might have helped you at least somewhat. If you like my content, a like or subscribe would always be appreciated in my book. I always look at those that comment or subscribe with fondness on the matter. And if you have any tips and pointers from your perspectives of how to grow dinosaurs, maybe not even Herrera, but others, please leave them in the comment section below, as it is better to help others so this community can grow and become more fun for everyone. But with that point, thank you all for watching, and have an awesome day.